What's up, everybody? It's Johnny Bronto here with HauntScene. Welcome to the show. With me, my lovely, amazing, gorgeous, uninfected co-host, Melissa Lucat. What are you holding?
I'm holding a Stitch version of our mascot, Buki.
Nice. Where did we get that from?
Which one of our fans, Candy Samples, beat for
Okay.
us. Thank you so much, Candy Samples. This is really awesome.
That is pretty dope.
That is really cool. Thank you so much for the love and support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, we don't get we get stuff, but we don't get we can't like do a mail episode.
Get fan mail.
Maybe awesome. A couple years from now.
This is really neat. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
All right, so we have a very special guest, and this special guest is staying up late tonight because it's almost midnight. It is midnight her time, and so let's go ahead and introduce our spooky friend, Amanda.
Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
What's up?
That cookie is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Isn't it?
Aw, that's neat.
Adorable.
That's cute.
Oh, I won.
Aw. It is cute. We do have a cute mascot.
We need to get you your own Buki.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Amanda, aka Boston White, is joining us live from Liverpool, England, which is not close. I looked it up. It's like it's like a 15-hour flight, which is ridiculous. And she comes down every year. Well, comes to Orlando every year for Halloween Horror Nights. And I don't know, we've known each other for a couple of years now, 3-4 years. So
yes, a long time.
So she's also the hostess of the Halloween Half Hour podcast. So what we'd like to do first, because we'll talk about other things, but you have a podcast. Can you give us your elevator pitch? Like what is the podcast all about?
So it's all the cool stuff that I wanted to do when I was a teenager as an adult.
Wow.
So all the cool people that inspired me and inspired Chris too, because Chris Ripley is my co-host in it, so I've known him for a long time too. We're basically digging into the brains of actors in the horror genre, directors, basically anyone that's involved with making horror movies or in horror movies or is a horror icon, where weirdly getting the chance to interview.
Yeah,
and it's wild.
You've had some pretty crazy guests on. I mean, you had Elvira, you had Robert Englund on. Anybody else that the people at home would know?
We had Joe Alves on a few weeks ago, talking about Jaws. That was insane. We had Paul Dini wildly a couple of weeks ago. So that was absolutely insane to me. We've had Kane Hodder. We've had insane guests, and we've only done like 14 episodes, and I'm like, how have we got these absolute icons? Like, how am I on the phone to Elvira?
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we need your media contact.
I know. In here. Every time that Chris messages me about a guest, I'm like, shut up. Am I getting punked? Where's Ashton Kutcher?
I mean, he could be on your show. He was in he was on the Butterfly Effect. That was kind of a horror movie, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it.
That's awesome. So I like your little spooky. I love that little blanket throw rug thing you got going on behind you. That's
really cool.
Super duper cute. So that's awesome. So yeah. How long have you been doing the podcast?
So we started it in November of last year, but it's something that we'd been planning for like 2 whole years, and we were like, okay, we super want to do this because we love theme parks and we love Halloween Horror Nights, but me and Chris are such hardcore horror fans in general. Like, that is our passion. And we're always like, oh, shall we do it? Do you think people will be interested? And then we were like, you know what? We're just going to do it. We're just going to see what happens. And it's turned out amazing. It's my absolute favorite thing that I've ever done in my life.
That's awesome. That's cool. Now Christopher Ripley, her co-host, he writes books, and he does like an annual Halloween Horror Nights book that I've gotten a couple years for. and it's like an overview of the event, has the updates and everything. So it's pretty cool. Nice.
Yes.
So why don't you ask about that?
Yes. Can you show off your spooky tattoos for us?
Okay. So they're in progress. They're not finished yet because we went into quarantine. So I've got a few months of getting any new ones.
She's gonna like show off
But
like a stick figure on her arm.
yeah.
Nice.
This is my classic monster sleeve. So I have Creature, I have Dracula.
Wow.
Dracula's my favorite one.
Mine too. I love the vampires.
Yes. Bride of Frankenstein. And then I don't know if you can see that Frankenstein one. I can't get the angle very well.
Okay.
But then I also have a random Brandon Lee on the other arm. He's the only one on that side.
Okay.
I mean, it fits. It fits.
I have to say that Bride of Frankenstein looks just like you though.
Everybody is like, people who aren't horror fans who will see me like in a bar are like, have you guys had two of yourself? I'm like, yeah, sure, why not?
Well, that's not bad.
That's not a bad thing. So yeah.
So I want to give a little bit of background where you're from. So we're gonna switch over here to this screen, and so here's where Liverpool is. For those of you that have never ever been across the pond, if I make sure I say these things correctly, I had no idea where Liverpool was in relation to London. So is there anything that makes Liverpool amazing?
It's really famous for the Beatles, because the Beatles are from here. And we're really famous for our football clubs, Liverpool and Everton. And we also have jellyfish.
You have jellyfish in Liverpool. That's awesome.
We have jellyfish.
That's really cool. So you lived there your whole life?
So I grew up here, and then I moved all the way to the northeast for a few years, and then I moved back to Liverpool last year. But Liverpool is my absolute favorite place in the whole entire world.
Nice. Is there any like horror shows or movies that are set around that area?
Quite a few things get filmed here instead of being filmed in London, because a lot of our architecture looks very London-esque. So instead of, I guess, paying so much money and having the inconvenience of filming in London, they'll come and film in Liverpool instead.
Oh, very cool. So we got a comment in here. Liverpool, oi, oi, oi.
That's Brandon. That's Brandon. Brandon.
Nice. What's up, Brandon? What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Oh my God, I'm in love with her tattoos. Heart sign, that's amazing. Love the crow. Awesome. Very cool. And you come over here, and I know you come down here during Halloween Horror Nights, but you've also been here when it's not Halloween Horror Nights, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we hung out in like the off season.
Yeah, I think that we maybe hung out in like April or May. Sometimes I try and come in like April and May time because it's pretty quiet, and I can just come for a week and just do Universal and not have to worry about staying up late to do horror nights.
Right. But that's
still
that is one heck of a flight. I mean, look at this. I actually got the Google directions. When you fly from Liverpool or Glasgow, like you said, it's like 16 hours. That's ridiculous.
Straight hours?
It's a super long flight. So I, a lot of the time, tend to fly from Manchester so that I can get a direct flight. But often I've done like layovers in Canada, New York as a stopover that a lot of people stop at. But it's a super long flight, but worth it.
Right. What do you do on a flight like that? It's just horror marathon or sleep or like drink?
On the way there, I movie marathon. On the way back, I get drunk and sleep.
Nice. Sounds good.
Well, I mean, probably dead tired by the time you're leaving Florida.
Yeah, honestly, once I got on the plane, it's like sleep time, because whenever I'm there in October, it's horror nights until 2 a.m. and then back up at 7 to go to Disney.
Wow. That's even more hardcore than you are.
Yeah. I drove straight through. We were coming back from the trip, and I went to HHN that same night.
We get back from like this huge road trip, and I'm like falling over, and she's like, "I'm gonna go to horror nights." It's like you guys are crazy.
Drove for 12 hours. It is. It's crazy.
Yeah. So here is the information if you want to follow the Halloween Half Hour podcast. Hopefully I have all this right. So facebook.com/the Halloween Half Hour. They're on Twitter, the HHH Hour, and Instagram, the Halloween Half Hour, if you guys want to follow. And I know you mentioned earlier or in a post that the podcast, that's you can find that on all the major podcast outlets, right?
Yeah, we're on everything that you can get a podcast on.
Nice.
Whatever you prefer.
We've recently started our podcast adventure, and we're still getting approved for a couple things. So
yeah, it takes a while.
Nice. Very cool. All right, what else we got? Okay, so I have a question for you. I'm gonna steal this one from you.
Okay.
So are there a lot of haunted attractions over in the UK?
There seems to be quite a lot more now. It's kind of finding its feet in the UK now. But when we have our haunted attractions, it's hard because our weather's not as nice as it is in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And the time's quite limited, so it tends to be just maybe the 2 weeks around Halloween.
Oh wow. So it's a very short haunt season. Do you have any theme parks over there that do anything for spooky stuff?
All of the main theme parks like Alton Towers and Thorpe Park do haunted events. Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which is my favourite UK theme park, just launched their first major Halloween attraction last year, which was really, really cool. And that's one of the oldest theme parks. So they have an awful lot of history that they can build on. So I imagine that in the coming years, that's going to be big.
Nice. Very cool. Have you noticed, because I know you've done some other haunted attractions here in Florida, and we'll talk about those in a moment, but have you noticed a big difference between how the haunts work over there and then over here in America?
For sure, but I feel like a lot of ours over here now are taking inspiration from the bigger American ones. So they're definitely getting a lot better. And I feel like I met up with quite a few people at a UK media event last year who do the same kind of thing as what you guys do. They'll go around and travel to all different haunts around the UK, and they would tell me what it was that I'd never even heard of before that I definitely want to try this year if we can, if it's allowed.
Nice. That's
so
cool.
It does seem like it's a budding little thing that we've got going on in England now, and I think it can only mean good things for the UK haunt industry.
Right. That's awesome. We got Clint says hi from Thorough Geek. We got
Hi, Clint.
Sarah, Brandon. My dad's watching here.
Dave, Pamela, Sarah.
Yeah, so that's cool. That's very cool. So, why don't you ask about that one? Sorry, I'm stealing questions and giving questions.
Wait, so what is it? Wait, it just says ask spooky
No, here.
attractions. Yeah. So what about what am I?
So I know that she's done some other things here in Florida. So what? I'll steal it.
Okay. All right. So what other spooky attractions have you done in Florida other than Halloween Horror Nights?
So I went to Busch Gardens for the first time last year.
What'd you think?
I feel like I went on a bad night. I feel like I didn't have the best experience at it, but I don't think that it was the event. I think it was just because the good thing about us going to Halloween Horror Nights is we have the multi-night tickets, and if we have a bit of an off night, it's fine because we're going to go back the next day.
Right.
Whereas I didn't have that luxury with Busch Gardens. It was a one-night thing, and it had to be good or it was bad.
Yeah.
I think I just picked a bad night. It was a Saturday. There was a lot of kids there. It was really busy, and I didn't really know what I was going into.
Gotcha.
But I think the next time that I go, I need to plan. I'm not used to planning my haunted nights.
Yeah, when we go and we do Howl-O-Scream, we have a plan. We're like, we're gonna hit this house and then go in this order. But I will echo what you said, because my first year or so doing Howl-O-Scream, I was lost. Like I went by myself and I bought like a double express for some reason. and I got lost, and I have had those nights sometimes, and that's what sucks about doing some haunts is you got that one shot, and if the stars don't align, sometimes you have that bad, that not optimal experience. So that's kind of a bummer. But I'm sure if you go back, it would be fine.
Yeah, for sure. But I haven't tried any other major haunts. I did want to try, what was that one the new one that they did last year?
Dark Horizon?
Yeah, so we planned to go to that and then that got pushed back. Was it because of a hurricane? There was some reason that it got pushed back and then it wasn't going to start until the day that I was leaving to come back to England, so I couldn't do it.
So have you done any other ones, like any of the independent haunted attractions?
I haven't. I did Terror on Church Street when that was open. I did Skull Kingdom when that was open.
Oh, you were able to do those.
Like predates HauntScene. It's like
predated.
predating.
Like old school.
That is old school.
I know. Yeah.
Jealous.
That's really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I feel like whenever I come over, like I come for 3 weeks and it's such a packed 3 weeks anyway, trying to do the Disney parks, trying to do Universal in the day, Horror Nights in the night, and then trying to get in things like SeaWorld as well. And then obviously get into see friends because a lot of us will come over at the same time, not just from England, but people are flying from other states, like Brandon and Sarah last year. And it's so hard trying to fit everything into 3 weeks. So basically, I need to get married so I can stay in America.
Just stay here. Just come over here. Just stay here.
Live here.
And I met you for the first time in person last year at Horror Nights, actually, because we had been friends on Facebook for such a long time. We were talking online, but it was the very first time I actually met you in person. So that was really cool. So
nice.
We're like, wow, we're both real.
We both exist.
Real people.
It's crazy.
I know, right? We get that a lot. You have these conversations with people on social media, and you talk, and then you realize like, I've never met this person, or somebody will come up to me at a haunt or something like that and be like, "Hey, Johnny," and I'm like, "Who are you?" I don't take that personally. It's just clearly introduce yourself. Like we should all wear name badges or shirts that say where we're from. Clearly,
no, 100%. I agree with that, and I feel like because we do such similar things, like you guys do the show, and then before we started doing the Halloween half hour, I did a Universal podcast and a Disney podcast, and even people who I'm friends with in real life would be like, because we hear you talking so much on the podcast, it feels like we talk way more than what we actually do. And then I don't see you as much as I hear you talking, and it's weird. Yeah, or they've never met me in real life and they meet me for the first time and I'm like, oh, you know me way more than I know you.
Well, you're in a weird way, you stand out for a very tiny person, but it's usually like how you're dressed. Like, this is a spooky girl.
You are very short. I didn't realize you were that short in person when I met you. I'm like, oh.
Everybody says that to me. I think I must just have like tall girl energy on the internet.
That's adorable, though.
Nice. Very cool. So, and I know that you've done a lot of short videos for Horror Nights, like a little previews for the houses and stuff like that. Is that something you're still gonna get up to?
I feel like I don't know whether I'll do it this year because I don't think that I'm going to be able to come over for Horror Nights. That's sad. I feel like it'll make me too sad if I do all these videos and then I can't come over. But I don't know. I feel like it would be weird not to, so I might.
Okay.
It depends on me getting an announcement.
Right. Which we have not gotten any announcements.
Not gotten announcements or any other ticket.
All we have is speculation. I mean, you have a ticket, so the event's going to happen.
I do. I do. So weirdly, this year, a UK website released multi-night tickets like super, super early, like March time. And my dad was like, okay, I'm going to get you this for your birthday this year. Oh, wait, already bought it. And I was like, wait, we're in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, it's...
So I'm prepared, but it's not looking very likely that I'll be able to fly over. I'm really sad about it.
I don't know if any of us are going to get to go to Halloween Hornets this year, if there's going to be one. which is sad.
I mean, I
That's
hope so,
very
but
sad,
at
yeah.
the same time, I feel like it's a big year and it deserves to have all efforts thrown into it, and it deserves to
I
have the
agree.
best year that it can possibly be. And I don't know. I feel like it just wouldn't do it justice.
Yeah, we feel the same way. The questions going around of, would you rather have the event canceled this year or and then have an awesome year next year, or would you have a compromised event, not firing on all full for all the cylinders, and kind
Yeah.
of I don't want to say the word half-ass, but because they don't really half-ass anything, but not have that full anniversary experience, because it would be a little different if it was another year. But anytime you hit any sort of milestone,
Yeah.
you really got to come out swinging. So, yeah.
Yeah, I completely agree with it. And I think like me and Brandon have been messaging each other back and forth for months, being like, okay, so what's the news over there? Okay, what's the news over there? Can you fly? Yes, no, what's happening?
Right. Yeah, it's been
And I was like, I don't
rough.
think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we're 3.5 months. Well, the world's 3.5 months into this thing, so yeah.
It doesn't seem to be letting up either, and it seems to get worse every day. And who knows what's going to happen? And
Yeah.
I mean, I agree with Johnny. I love HHN, I really do. But I mean, if it's not going to be 100%, it's going to be different, especially for an anniversary year.
Right.
I'd rather go all out.
Wait,
But
did Mickey's Not So Scary get cancelled?
Yes, it
Mickey's
did.
Did I
did
see
get
that?
canceled. Yeah, it was breaking news a few days ago.
Yeah, I mean we're not good enough to go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, so I mean, so whatever, I guess.
No, I mean, I think there's other things that they said that they weren't going to have. I think they said they weren't going to do like parades and meet and greets, which is mostly what Mickey's Not So Scary is. So if you take those things
Yeah.
out, then you don't really have much of a Halloween event, to be honest.
So I mean, you could take $100
yeah,
and set it on fire and go to a store and buy 5 pounds of candy, and it's the same thing.
pretty much.
And watch like point of view videos on all the rides, and then you're good. Save your money. I'm just kidding.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah, it's so weird how there's no Halloween this year, but the Halloween candy industry is blowing up. So
Yeah,
we're all going to be sat at home trick-or-treating with ourselves.
Yeah.
but yeah.
On that note, how about we do some Halloween Horror Nights speculation?
Okay, let's all cry.
Let's do it. Okay. So I think that you were mentioning earlier that you needed to see the map, so here it is.
Perfect.
So we'll go through this one at a time. Now, everything we said, we're huge Halloween Horror Nights fans, so I'm going to support the event and whatever they do. And I know that Amanda's the same way. Oh, by the way, we forgot to ask you, where did Boston White come from?
Yeah, what's the name Boston White?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Oh, it's one of those. I guess that's
Yeah.
the same thing where Johnny Bronto came from. So
Yeah.
take that one to my grave. Anywho,
Okay. All right then.
so okay, so let's talk about some houses here. So I would imagine you would be a big fan of the Brides from Universal Monsters if they had that house.
Yeah, 100%. I think
Yep.
looking at this list, I think that one for sure would be my favorite.
Nice. Because the Universal Monsters house that they had last year with all the male characters, they had the Bride there too.
It
Was
beautiful.
amazing.
It was so good. I feel like I
Yeah.
came out of that house every time like, oh my god, favorite ever.
Yeah, it was
We should
really,
do a
really
second
good.
version of that house again.
Yeah.
I loved it.
They should.
Let's have
and-
a year-round one.
Yes.
oh
please.
yeah, just leave it up.
It's Universal Monsters all year round.
Yeah, because didn't they have something like that at Halloween, or didn't they have that at Universal West Coast for a while? It was a walkthrough.
Yeah.
Horrors.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was there for years.
I mean, when they build the new park, aren't they going to have some
They're
Universal
gonna have
Monsters thing?
like what classic
Yeah.
monsters
Yeah.
area. Yeah.
Nice. So that's that one. Definitely looking forward to. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is kind of interesting.
I heard about that.
If on the spectrum. Oh, by the way, I want to thank our friends Mark and everybody over at Horror Night Nightmares because this is where this speculation map comes from. So we don't pass off. We're not other people. We don't pass off the speculation as our own. This comes from a somewhat reliable source. So just a little caveat
and
there.
they kicked up with that speculation map every single year.
Yeah. So that being said, the next house on the list is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now that one's interesting because didn't they just do that one a couple years ago?
They did, yes. That was for 25 actually. They had it 5 years ago.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I feel like it's 26.
One of you Halloween Hornets aficionados in the chat, help us or we can look it up. Aaron would know that. Oh, you know who would know that? Kira would know that. Because she fell over a table and got blood on herself, and she had the worst house experience ever. She was that girl in that house. So
I feel like I'm sure that it must have been because there was a hurricane. There's always a hurricane every year. It was the time when the park closed completely for a hurricane.
Oh yeah, that's
and then
right.
They said that we could go on the Saturday with our frequent flyer plus passes, but nobody really went, and I had to go through that house completely alone. And it's the scariest house I've ever been through in my entire life.
Nice. Well, we are getting a confirmation that it was 2016. So thank you, Avion, our buddy Avion, Little Seedling. Thank you, Aaron, Crazy Shark Lady.
Yes, that
Hamilton stuff.
Terrifying in 26.
But that was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So are they doing another American Werewolf in London and just doing it again?
I'd be down for that. Like if I was I might still come this year. Who knows what's gonna happen? But I would be happy with that.
Yeah, me too. I mean, they did it twice, 2 years back to back at Hornets. It was a really cool house.
Yeah. So there's that, unless it's based on the remake or something.
I'm not sure.
Maybe the torture porn one.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Ooh.
I think it would be a fun house though.
It's got the metal plate guy, Bill Moseley, and it's got Dennis Hopper with the dual chainsaws, and yeah, sweet.
It makes for a creepy house. I remember going through the one in 26, and I was going through the kitchen scene, and one of the Leatherface is on the other side of the table, and he reached all the way across to me, and I ran into the sink on the side of it, and I swear I almost had a panic attack because he reached so far to me.
You don't like chainsaws?
I don't.
I've seen
really don't.
Chainsaws work on Melissa.
The noise of it just freaks me out. Yeah. Just the noise of it.
I think we started.
It's so bad.
The smell? Yeah. The smell of gas? Yeah.
So that being said, because that brings up an interesting question, as we do all these haunts and things, we're starting to realize that each of us has a haunt kryptonite, and Melissa's is chainsaws. Kira's is laser swamps.
And chainsaws.
Do you have one? Do you have something that always works for you in haunts?
Anything that's cornfieldy or scarecrowy.
Nice.
Gets me.
Those are kind of creepy though. Coin mazes are creepy.
Nice.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you don't know what's lurking in them.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think mine is being in the dark.
Yeah. There's puppets.
Oh, puppets! Puppet. Yeah. I walked into one of those big life-size Gorgalore puppets in one of the houses. I get lost.
Where you draw the line at it and that's not me. That's not scary to me. It's just not my vibe.
Oh, definitely spiders.
Clowns.
Johnny has seen me with spiders. I had to hold on to Johnny once to shut my eyes.
Oh no, I'm not afraid of clowns. That's kind of where I draw the line of kind of being meh about stuff.
Well,
they just that's the opposite of what we're talking about. I'm sorry, that's the one thing that doesn't work on me is clowns. Or 3D clowns. Yeah, I'm not. But I don't have to think get it.
I've seen you get scared.
Oh yeah,
I've seen you jump.
Scared. Oh yeah.
It's quite a wonderful scene actually, because you've hardly ever seen Johnny get scared.
That's why I make you go first, so I can watch you get scared.
When I go first, everyone behind me gets a show and laughs at me when I get scared. So.
Yeah. Well, I've seen Amanda run. There's a video online. She's she's got a beer and she's wearing a turtle backpack. They're chasing her.
I've seen that clip.
Yeah.
walking behind you when you were doing that clip, but it was I didn't want to say anything at first because I hadn't met you yet in person, so I didn't know how to approach you. But I told you online that I had saw you. Yeah. Yes.
So some people in the chats, creepy dolls, hate dolls, mannequins.
Fan of dolls.
Speaking of mannequin, we're going to talk about that in a moment. The next one on the list, bedtime stories. Anybody know anything about that one?
Kind of like Scary Tales.
Could be.
That kind of sounds like Scary Tales to me.
Could. I don't know. We just have the title.
I got the vibe of like scary stories to tell in the dark.
Okay.
Oh, I've seen that movie, and I hope like scenes of that movie.
Oh yeah.
Don't show up.
Melissa doesn't like body horror, like things coming out of your.
There was one scene in that movie I will never watch again because of it.
Wow.
And it has to do with my fear of spiders. If you've seen that movie, Amanda, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah. Never again. I saw that in theaters. I saw it with Chad, and never again. I'll never watch it again. Scarred me for life.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was bad.
And then we have Icon's house, which is pretty cool. If we're getting that, all of the
anniversary year, like they did in 25.
Well, there's an Icon's house, which is separate from an anniversary house. So the Icons would focus on like the Jack and Chance and Eddie and all the Icons. And the anniversary house I would imagine it would be very similar to 25, where it would be like a greatest hits of different scenes and houses.
The Past in 2010, that was a beautiful house.
Yeah. So it'd be kind of cool. So those two.
Yeah, they both sound super cool.
Nice. And then Pumpkin original, like pumpkin guts.
It would be cool if it was like a pumpkin house. When I went to Knott's Scary Farm a few years ago, and they had a pumpkin style haunted house. Out of that pumpkin, you actually walked into the facade of a pumpkin. There's pumpkin guts hanging down and everything, and there were pumpkin actors coming at you with pumpkin heads. It was amazing. It was the coolest thing ever.
That sounds so cool.
I would love if they did something like that. Nice. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
it was Pumpkin Eater. That's what it was called. It's Pumpkin Eater at Knott's Scary Farm.
What about Pumpkin Smasher?
Wow.
Pumpkin Smasher. No, not as cool as Pumpkin Smasher.
Very cool. Oh, what's up, Mark?
I feel like that one sounds like it would be my favorite original.
Mm-hmm.
What about Mannequin Theater? Segue. It's based on the 80s movie, The Mannequin.
I love that movie. I love that. I've seen that movie. I love that movie.
It's got Hollywood Montrose, because he's amazing.
Wait, what's that song that's in it? Jefferson. They change their name all the time.
Jefferson Starship? Jefferson Airplane?
Yeah. Yeah, both.
Well, whether or not it is based on Mannequin, which it's not, I'm still going to pretend it is going in.
Yeah, so like wax figures, like creepy wax figures. I can see that. Like mannequins,
or like those weird like Silent Hill mannequin creatures with the multi limbs running out of you.
Creepy, yeah. Or like the Silent Hill nurses.
Well, they're not mannequins, but maybe.
They're not. Okay. Well, okay. Never mind. Yes.
I mean, I didn't mind the nurses, but yeah. Did you get a chance to see the Silent Hill house? Were you here for that year?
Yeah,
it was a 2013.
I love Silent Hill.
Awesome house.
That was such a good house. I love the Pyramid Head. It's my favorite.
Yes.
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. That's what Ashley says. Ashley Lee.
It's Jefferson Starship. Yes.
Nice.
Just me at the same time.
That's like my favorite song. I have that on iTunes.
Nice.
So yes. I want to watch that movie now.
I do not own Mannequin.
You don't own Mannequin?
I also do not own Mannequin 2. The sequel.
The second one?
Yeah.
I only saw the first one.
I didn't even know there was a sequel.
It's just totally a sequel. I think it might be a sequel where not all the same people returned and they just kind of use the concept. That's kind of how I remember it. I'd have to look. Maybe Hollywood Montrose is in it because he's the best part of. He's the guy and he's their friend.
The main guy?
No, he's the black guy.
Oh, I have to rewatch the movie. I haven't seen it in years.
You don't watch Mannequin regularly?
No, I don't watch Mannequin regularly.
You're fired. Amanda, I need a co-host.
Johnny, I'm sorry.
Because do you watch Mannequin regularly? I'm just kidding, I don't, but yeah.
I'm definitely excited if Haunting a Hill House makes it. Yeah. I've been wanting that house to come to HHN since the show came out. Huh?
You watched the whole thing?
The whole thing.
Did you see that, Amanda?
I love Haunting of Hill House. I think I've watched it almost as many times as I've watched Stranger Things.
Ooh. I feel like I need to
Another
rewatch it
plot.
again. I watch a lot of those. Go ahead.
It's so good, but I watched it over and over again to try and spot all the hidden ghosts.
Oh, see, I cheat. I watch the YouTube videos.
Again, to see all the... Johnny told me about the hidden ghosts, or else I wouldn't have known about them in the background.
Yeah.
So
there's just going to be a bunch of characters just standing there.
Standing in the...
That's the whole house. Nobody's going to come out and jump out and get you. It's literally just like people hiding behind stuff.
No, that's gonna be the 6 foot rule. They're just gonna stand in the
Yeah,
background
that's the
as you're going through the house.
That's a social
Yeah,
distancing
works
house.
perfectly.
The
Perfect.
social distancing house.
Nice.
But I would love if that house came. That show came as a house to HHN. I always thought it would make a good house. So with the creepiness and the ghosts and stuff. So.
And I think the set design for it would be insane.
Yeah.
It would have to be in a soundstage though, with the house and everything.
Yeah,
Definitely.
well, that one is slated to be where Universal Monsters was last year.
Okay, so even like a building or yeah.
That would be dope. That would be interesting because that's an indoor house. There's like not a lot of outdoor elements to that, whereas the Universal Monsters and Seeds of Extinction had a lot of outdoor elements. So I think that would be neat to see that there. And then we got the heavy hitter this year, the one that I've been waiting for forever. They didn't give me the house that I wanted, but I'll take Beetlejuice.
I'll definitely take Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And of course, it's the 30th year.
I'm going to be so excited it is Beetlejuice, and I can't come.
Yeah. I just, there's so much to look at in Beetlejuice. There's just
so many good scenes.
I'm going to make a wish list because some of these houses I can visually see in my head so much. Like, I've got to see this and this and this. I want to see the art. Yeah. You know how they have like the Dietz mom, she makes the art. I want to see that in the house.
Yeah.
The waiting room, the sandworms. There's so many good iconic.
The archway and the wedding and the guy.
Everything.
The model town.
Yep. The attic.
And carousel Beetlejuice. Oh my god.
Yes.
Sheets. No feet.
Yes. Or the room that they enter when they open up the brick door.
Yeah, the chalk.
The ghost afterlife.
Oh,
yes.
So amazing.
So many good scenes.
And like the flat guy that got ran over and that's just like on the string. Yeah. That's awesome.
There's so much cool stuff that they could use.
Oh, and Beetlejuice too. Sorry,
Just think of like all the Beetlejuice merch, just like how it was with Ghostbusters last year,
Yes.
All right. Some people, a bit neck lady, cannot wait for Beetlejuice.
My phone died.
Phantasm. Melissa's phone died, so I guess she's in charge of the comments now. There you go. We can look at the comments together. There we go. I also heard the Beetlejuice house is going to have a car, so instead of walking through the house, you're going to be. I don't know about all that. Phantasm. What's weird is Phantasm. I don't know if there's enough of a following for that. I mean, exactly. You've never heard of Phantasm? Okay. It's how there's like A tier horror, like Alien and Terminator and Jaws, and then there's like B tier horror, which is like your Hellraiser and Evil Dead and whatever. And I'm just using these arbitrarily. There's like one that's like probably like F level, and it's like Phantasm. So some people are huge fans.
I like Phantasm.
I like the guy with the Angus, the big dude. He's cool. And I'm just picking on it, by the way. Phantasm's awesome. And so Beetlejuice is going to be absolutely amazeballs. And then finally, I don't know what you've heard, but Billie Eilish.
Okay, so I feel like I've seen so many people being like, no. But I'm team yes.
I still feel like it's a joke. Like it's
100% a joke. I just think it's a joke that's going around. That's.
I don't believe that it would be a Billie Eilish themed house. I believe it would be an original house with music from Billie Eilish. Like what I imagine it would be like an asylum. Maybe like an insane asylum playing Billie Eilish music. is what I personally think. But
fair enough. I mean, I love we stand Billie Eilish. We love Billie Eilish.
I like her. I like her music, but I don't.
Just
I didn't think that it would actually come to Halloween Horror Nights. I'm kind of actually confused.
Yeah, like when the first map was released like months and months ago, and then it's like Billie Eilish on there, I thought it was an April Fool's joke. Like I was like, oh, he's just messing with people. But the rumor has persisted, so now I'm starting to second guess that.
no, I feel like I'd be down for it. I feel like it would be cool.
I mean,
I think she's got a lot of strange music, and it would work well.
Yeah, I even a bad house at Horror Nights, a quote bad house is still a good house. You know, like if the event is amazing and not everything can be, Beetlejuice. So I'm sure no matter what they do with it, if that's gonna happen, it'll be cool.
Either way, I'm still gonna go check it out.
It's not like I'm gonna go like, oh Billy, I'm not going no.
Yeah.
Jerk.
I've seen some people do that.
That is such crap though.
Why would you go and skip a
People
house?
like, Horror Nights isn't scary. I'm not gonna go. Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yeah.
And we see these people.
The same people that said that about Ghostbusters last year.
Right.
Yeah.
And we saw them in line. It's just like, yeah, we know who you are. We see you.
Yeah, you say you're not going, but then you end up going.
Right.
So.
Or Bill and Ted's not there anymore. I'm not going. Shut up.
Mm-hmm.
The rumor of Bill and Ted coming back. Nice, that's not gonna happen.
I do love Bill and Ted, and as much as I would love to see it come back, I don't think we'll ever see it come back at HHN again, though.
Really?
Unfortunately, I
maybe for like Horror Nights 40.
It's pretty much done. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. So.
Yeah, no, I kind of feel the same. Like I feel like we probably will see it again, but I don't think it'll be like a big return. I think it'll be like a one-time thing.
Like 35. Calling it now.
50. HHN 50.
I'm not going to be here.
Even though now is the perfect time.
But I don't think at right now at the point in time they could do parody shows.
No.
With how like just the way society is now, I don't think they can get away with parody shows.
No.
Anymore. Not like they used to. So unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe let that calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
And definitely nothing political, because wow, that would be a mess.
Oh yeah, I remember they used to have a lot of political bits in Bill and Ted.
Yeah, like every election year.
There was one year.
That might actually be the main reason, other than the fact that they're making a movie.
True. Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
But we stand Academy of Villains. We love Academy of Villains anyway, so we're going.
So I wouldn't mind seeing them come back. So definitely.
And then the Lagoon show. Maybe the Lagoon show will be Billie Eilish.
Or it would be, it would be cool if they had a Beetlejuice show too, like a Beetlejuice show and a house.
That would be dope.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be cool.
We could have a drag show, maybe. That'd be fine. That'd be a good time. Yeah, why not?
I feel like it would be cool if there was like a Beetlejuice like street, not necessarily a scare zone, but the way that like Chucky was interacting in his scare zone, something like that with Beetlejuice would be cool.
That would be really cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or like a photo op kind of zone, because I mean that's obviously we're not going to have a full fleet of, full troop of characters jumping out at us this year. So I think they're going to have to
on stages on platforms, like they did
on top of the buildings, going boo.
Like they did with 25 when they had all the icons on the stage on the platforms. Yeah. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Nice. Very cool. So have you thought about if the event happens? Because I know they say that you're not. It doesn't look good for you coming out this year. But have you envisioned like what kind of event it would be?
Yeah. So that was kind of the main reason before flights started getting a little bit weird. We were kind of tossing up, because usually I book in December to come over, and I don't know why I didn't this year. I guess the universe was just like, hey, hold off. But I kept being like, should I book? Should I not book? And then I was thinking like, okay, I'm going to pay the same amount of money, but the lines could be potentially super, super long if we're so social distancing.
Right.
Are there going to be many scares? Will people want to work the event? Because that's another thing too. You have to consider, will people want to put themselves in that situation?
Right. And I would imagine everybody attending the event would have to wear a mask too. Like there's just no wiggle room there. Like you just like Universal is right now. If you don't wear a mask, you can't go in.
Are they enforcing that?
I've heard that Universal's doing a better job than anywhere else.
Okay,
Universal's
that's good.
definitely doing a better job at that than SeaWorld is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people walk in.
Okay.
Like,
At least that's
they're
what
like,
I've heard.
America!
Yeah. I haven't been to SeaWorld, but I've heard people say Universal is doing a better job at that than SeaWorld. SeaWorld Park is. So that's what I've heard.
I think that Universal are like on the ball with everything, so I imagined that they would be doing a good job. But I imagine as well that it would be probably much harder to police that at something like Halloween Horror Nights, where it's dark and the spaces are more confined. And so when I was weighing the options up and I was considering what a different event it would be, it costs an awful lot of money to fly over from the UK. And I was like, I just don't feel like I'm going to get the optimum experience.
That is a perfect statement for that. The optimum experience.
It's true. It's very true, you know.
So, yeah.
You want it to be worth it.
We do want it to be worth it.
And yeah.
So that's all we got. That's all the questions that we have. What's going on? Like, what are you watching? What are you into these days?
So I just finished watching Blood Machines on Shudder.
I watched that too. It got a little weird at the end.
Yeah, it was weird, but the visuals and the music, oh my god, like I was obsessed.
Yeah, the music is amazing for Blood Machines on Shudder.
So good. Okay. And I've just actually started watching Haunting of Hill House again. For the millionth time.
Have you watched Hannibal on Netflix?
I haven't, but we keep skipping past it. Like, oh wait, shall we? I think I've maybe watched like 1 or 2 episodes.
It's good.
A long time ago, because the guy that was doing my tattoos had just started doing a sleeve for a girl, and she was getting the guy from Hannibal.
Or the other guy, Will Graham.
No, the other guy. I think Hannibal.
Okay, I was gonna say I got a Will Graham.
But him in like all different films. So like him in real life.
Gotcha.
She was getting like an entire sleeve of him, and so he was telling me about it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it when I get home. And I think I started, but I maybe only watched 1 or 2 episodes.
Nice. And then I would imagine you've seen Penny Dreadful.
I have.
It's amazing.
I have. I like Penny Dreadful.
So good. I don't particularly care for the new series, but the original one was amazeballs.
That's what I heard it was good.
I just spend all of my time now. I play this thing that I call Shudder Roulette. So I go onto Shudder and close my eyes and just like move all over the screen and then just land on something. So I just watch random Shudder stuff all the time.
They should build that in as a feature where you just hit a button and it just randomly picks a movie. And like it keeps track too, so that way you're not getting the same movies over and over again.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
Have you gotten around to watching Mindhunter? Have you seen Mindhunter, Amanda, on Netflix?
It's on my list.
I started watching season 1 because I really, really wanted to see season 2, and I was like, okay, I can't watch season 2 before I've watched season 1.
Exactly.
But I haven't decided that. I start TV shows, and then I go back and watch Stranger Things instead.
That's your fallback?
Too, yeah. I have to go back and watch Stranger Things again, though. I love Stranger Things. So, especially the 3rd season was my favorite.
So
nice.
I think I've never watched a TV show or anything in my life as much as I've watched Stranger Things. I'm so obsessed with it.
Yeah. It's really good.
What's up, James from Hot Shirts? Hot Shirts. Oh, it's this sleeve, actually. Hot Shirts. You gotta flex when you do it.
Oh, you guys did that in sync. That was so cute.
We need a picture like that. Just get a still picture like that.
Someone clip that.
Someone clip that. Someone clip that for us. Jenny, where are you? Clip that for us.
What's up, Mr. Michael Yos? What's up? Aaron says, me too, Amanda. Power move. Awesome. Love it. Very cool. Very cool.
There's supposed to be a 4th season of Stranger Things, isn't there?
Eventually.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they've stopped filming right now, but then the Duffer Brothers were like posting some like teasers saying that like we're gonna be obsessed with the guests that they have.
But at some point they're all gonna grow up and be like, they're all gonna hit growth spurts and be like 5 feet tall, or one of them is gonna grow in like a different proportion than everybody else, or like their voice is gonna change. Everyone's gonna be like, "Hi, we're the little kids from Stranger Things," and then one of them's gonna be like, "Hello, I went through puberty first."
When we get back to season 4,
yeah,
they're gonna be like 20 years old.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think that's gonna be it for us. So here's the information for their podcast again. Make sure you guys are following the Halloween half hour on all the social medias. Follow Boston White on Twitter and all the things. Just don't be a creeper.
Yeah, please.
Please don't be a creeper.
Creepy. No
It's
creepy.
just not cool. So,
No.
but we're gonna let you go so you can go to bed unless you're gonna stay up and watch something. Because I don't know.
No, it's 1 a.m.
Oh, it's 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's 1 a.m. there now.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna let you go mercifully so you can go to bed. I just want to thank you for being on the show. You're amazing.
Thank you so much.
Hopefully
Amanda.
we get to see you this year. If not, eventually once we get through all 50 states in the U.S., we're gonna head over and start doing international haunts.
Yeah.
Our first stop will be your neck of the woods.
I want to take you guys to Passage del Terra. It's still like Terror on Church Street. It's the same company.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome. And I'm Lily. It's an excuse to go over there and get a lifetime supply of Percy Pigs. But it'd be cool if they had haunts too.
To go back to the UK and do haunts out there. The only country I've done haunts in so far was Japan. So.
I mean, that's cool though.
It was a lot of fun.
Twist my arm. That was horrible.
It was a lot of fun.
So let's bring you back up on a big screen so you can say goodbye to all the people.
Bye guys. Thank you so much for having me. I had a super fun time.
Awesome. And then good luck in the future with the podcast and all the amazing guests that you guys have, and we'll be listening. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Amanda.
Right.
Thank you guys. Good night.
Bye. All right. So we need to do one thing before we go. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate everybody watches the show. It's amazing. Thank you again to Amanda for staying up so late to be on the show. Normally we start at 8 o'clock, but I wanted to start earlier for her so she could be on there. Thank you to Candy Samples with a K, for the little knit cross stitch spooky thing, which is awesome. We're gonna find a place to like hang it like right here behind us, which is gonna be great. And then next week on the show, and I didn't get a chance to get a headshot from him, so I just picked one. It's going to be Mark Muncy from Erie, Florida, an author. He does all kinds of stuff. We're really looking forward to talking about all the spooky stuff in Florida. He does book signings and all kinds of stuff, so I'm really looking forward to that. We got a chance to meet him a couple weeks ago. And that's going to be it for this particular episode. So I want to thank everybody that joined in live to the show. If you're listening to the podcast version of this, thank you for downloading and listening to the podcast on all the major podcast outlets. And I think that's going to be it for us.
That's about it. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. As always, we hope to see you next week on our next show. Yep. We love you and we appreciate the support. Thank you all so much.
Yep. All right. So we're going to roll credits. Have a good night.
Have a good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
And until next time, have
spook easy. Bye-bye. I almost forgot to say that.
You did.
Oh, it's so bad.
Give me some treats.